Your report has been described as damning. And then are you saying that the Nigerian police, as we speak, are operating outside the law?
Definitely. And that is the big point that we made in that report, and which is that the Nigerian police unit called Tiger Base, located in Owerri, Imo State, is operating outside the law, is operating with impunity, and is operating without any basis in the rule of books of rules. What we are saying is that impunity is going on there, and it is going on for so long, and it is going on with so much reckless impunity, to the extent that we are calling the attention of everyone to join us in saying that it has to stop, and there must be accountability. It's not about stopping it, there must be accountability as well.
Now, talking about the Tiger Base units and their operations, the question for me then would be, what is the strongest evidence that you guys have regarding this case as we speak? And does it show only just Tiger Base, or is this something that is systemic in Nigeria? Are we saying there's a systemic, foul play somewhere in the system when it comes to operations of the police?
So let me take you back to pre-NSAS days. Before NSAS, we had SAS. SAS also started like Tiger Base. SAS was established to deal with crimes, to deal with robbery, and to deal with other crimes, that are afflicting urban areas and cities. Now, gradually, SAS became a toxic unit of the police. It became a menace. It became a problem. It became an issue that everyone was talking about. They go on killing people in Owerri, in Lagos, in Ogun State, in Abuja, everywhere. So it started from somewhere, and that is how Tiger Base is going. The pattern we are seeing, based on our experience of researching police activities in Nigeria since from 2003, we realized that gradually Tiger Base is transforming into the monster that was SAS. So the pattern is clear. The police will see a problem. For example, they say, okay, Tiger Base was established solely to deal with the menace of kidnapping in Imo State. And gradually, Tiger Base became something else. It started arresting people and holding them in detention unlawfully for political reasons, sometimes family disputes, sometimes just disagreements over a business deal. And these are civil matters that have nothing to do with their remit. They are set up to deal with kidnapping. So why are they going into this thing? And that was how SAS started. We had a situation to the extent that SAS, instead of dealing with crimes, they gradually became a unit of the police that was also intervening in civil matters, settling death. If there is a death issue between me and you, they will intervene and say that, okay, but it has nothing to do with them. So what we realize is that the police in Nigeria has been using this pattern. When they see a problem, they establish this unit, they give it this responsibility, and gradually that unit will become a monster. It will become a problem. It will become a danger to the society, and that is what Tiger Base has become.
Does it become a problem because nobody monitors them afterwards?
Well, I don't think the issue is monitoring. I think the issue is the whole system. Maybe, we have been researching Nigerian police, I have been told you, since 2003, 2004, and we have done like 6 reports on the police. What is happening is that Nigerian police is enmeshed in so much corruption and systematic, decay, which enable people to act with lawlessness as much as they like. Therefore, that is where the problem is. I don't think that this is, an issue of one unit or something like that. I think it's an issue that has to do generally with the Nigerian police. After NSAS, the Nigerian government promised that they are going to reform the police itself. They announced some measures. Unfortunately, it didn't materialize. People didn't see that translating into reality. No one expected that just a few years after NSAS, we are now having a very monstrous unit of the police gradually heading the way of answers.
Now, tell us, did your findings really establish, that they're saying, hey, there's legal detention of torture and all the illegal, detention, there's torture. Did those findings really get to prove it beyond reasonable doubt that, yes, this is illegal, this is wrong? Is that how you guys did it? Is it a yes or no for you? You guys established that indeed torture is going on, illegal detention is going on?
Well, at Amnesty International, we take evidence very seriously. And our research is always empirical based. We do it with evidence because we don't only look for one evidence, we look for layers and layers and evidence. If like 3 people told us that this is our experience, for us, in our standard, that is not enough. We need a lot of evidence. So when we are doing this research, it took us 2 years to finish this work. It's a very small issue, but it took us 2 years. We have been researching this issue. We have been talking with victims. We have been talking with people who survived Tiger Base, those who were held in Tiger Base. We have been speaking with lawyers. We have been speaking with families of those who died in Tiger Base. We have been speaking with people who were in Tiger Base for more than 2 years. In fact, there was somebody that we spoke with, he spent 800 days in Tiger Base. So we have autopsy reports showing the cause of death for some people. Therefore, what we have is a body of evidence, and we are ready to present all those evidence that we have to the police or to the Nigerian government to help them do their own investigation. And that was why, if you look at our report at the end, we always encourage the government to also do its own investigation, because we are not a court of law. We are only a human rights organization with capacity to carry out deep research, empirically based research with evidence. And when we gather that evidence, we are always willing and we always offer to share with the government, to share with the police, to make sure that we give them all the support, all the assistance, all the evidence they need. In fact, we can even give them much more than that, because the evidence we have is overwhelming. We can give them, and we are ready to give them, if they are going to carry out appropriate investigation, to make sure that all those involved in Tiger Base Owerri, all those officers found to have violated human rights are brought to justice. Not just to transfer them from Imo State to Borno State or from Imo State to Sokoto. No, that is not what we are to, because that's what the police always do. Not to do that. We want to make sure that there is justice. All those who participated in those tortures, extortions of millions of naira from victims, they must be brought to justice. That is the only way.
What is the most disturbing testimony that you encountered within this investigation?
Well, one of the most disturbing one that we discovered was that, some young people, reported about somebody, and that person was arrested. And that person, after that person was arrested and brought to Tiger Base, and that person died in Tiger Base. And later on, the police went and arrested those who reported that guy and also held them in detention and extorted their families for as much as they could. There was a woman we spoke with, she has been held in Tiger Base, and she fell ill in detention. And they said that, well, she need this treatment, and they brought somebody to treat her. And after they finished, I think it's malaria or something. After they finished the treatment, they then told her family that they have to pay 500,000 naira. For some, maybe probably 30,000 or something. So the police also turned even the sickness of victims into a mechanism for extortion.
Victims in their custody.
Exactly. And there were women who were held in Tiger Base, and that is the most devastating of all. And they were separated from their children. There was no documentation, and some of them up to now, they have not been reunited with their children. There was no accountability. Where are those children?
Are these the same women that they used for forced labor?
Yes, yes. They are constructing maybe an extension. In fact, one woman said that they turned her into a chef. She was cooking food for 200 people every day. And those women were also, maybe they were building an extension or something in the building. And those women were turned into laborers. They spent the whole day carrying stone on their bare heads, and they have been doing that without any rest for the whole week. And no payment, no anything. They were just turned into slaves. A lot of atrocities are happening in Tiger Base. Some people who are held there, maybe because of their political position or political opinion or political alignment, they were held there without any reason whatsoever, just because of the position, their position politically.
Now, let me just quickly button, because we're going to break briefly. But before we get to that break, I want to ask you: are these, rogue officers, or is it a system there, or is it just some rogue officers of the Tiger Base?
I don't think, based on our investigation, I don't think it's some few rogue officers. I think that's the system at Tiger Base. That is the system. So it has become a center of cruelty, center of horror and terror. And that is why, people who go in there and survived are finding it very difficult to adjust to normal life because of the horror, because of the horrifying experience they had there. So it's not something on the margin, it's the general thing happening. And apart from that, we also have the issue of overcrowding in that place, where people sleep. Some people have to be standing, some have to be squatting, some have to stand so that others will sleep, and all the corridors of the detention facility are full of people every day, and they are there. And we also have a situation whereby some courts were used to detain people indefinitely.